Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obligations unto you. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obligations unto the personality of God and Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of fortune, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्ते भवति नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in the classes of Bhagavatam and my rendering of the service to the pure devotee, all dietary troubles of the heart is completely destroyed. And the loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respective obligations unto him. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from first canto, chapter 19, and verse number 7 we have to do. And the name of the chapter is The Appearance of Sukdev Goswami. Right. So little context, what is going on, just for my purification. So this is after once Maharaj Parikshit was cursed to die in 7 days. When he came to know that he is cursed to die in 7 days. So it is continuation of that story. And then he sat on the bank of Ganges, right? And yesterday Prabhupada writes Yamuna, right? And then very nectarianly Parsati Prabhu was also describing, right? And he was reading in the verse also that both are same. Yamuna and Ganges both are same, Ganga water and Yamuna water. But Yamuna is 100 times more purifying. Right? So he sat there and then all the sages assembled there and then he started asking the question. Now this is post. Like what we will see, like what's going the chapter, what is going. But what is happening, like he sat on the, who sat? Parikshit Maharaj sat on the bank of Ganges, Yamuna. Basically, like Ganges usually used loosely. It's used for both the rivers. But mainly he sat at the bank of Yamuna. Right? So let's read the verse for today. Iti vavachaya sapade deha parayo vemanam prati vishnu padam dado mukhandram aneya bhayo muni varot mukha samasta sangha ite vavocha sapadeya uparaya seyam prati vishnu padyam dudho mukhadangram anya bhavyo muni vrato mukha samasta sangha iti vayachadya sa pandaveya parayo evyam prati vishnu padyam dadayo mukhdam aneya bhayo muni vrato mukha samasta sangha. Iti, thus, Vayachimaya, having decided, Saha, the king, Pandaveya, worthy descendant of the Pandavas, Paraya Uparayam, for fasting until death, Prati, towards, Vishnu Padam, on the bank of the Ganges, emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Dado gave him up, Mukunda Anuyam, onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Anya, without deviation. Bhaya, spiritual. Muni Varaha, with the vow of sage. Mukta, liberated from. Samasta, all kind of. Sangham, association. Thus the king, who is Maharaj Parikshit, thus the king, the worthy descendant of Pandavas, once decided once and for all, and sat on Ganges bank to fast until death, and gave himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So freeing himself from all kind of association and attachment, he accepted the vow of a sage. So, like we were discussing last week also, right? And Nanda Prabhu was also mentioning when something happened to devotee, right? Like he thinks this is Lord's plan, right? Instead of retaliating, like he thinks what I can learn from this situation, right? Similarly, Maharaj Parikshit, we were discussing last week also, right? He didn't try to retaliate by finding uh, doing something to get rid of that sin. Like what he decided is he will atone for it. And what he did was he accepted the vow of a sage. He sat on, he left all his kingdom, right? And he was thinking even before that, right? We were discussing last week, right? Before he got the news that he got cursed, in his mind he was thinking like, my Lord, take away everything. I have done so much bad thing, like that I have offended a Brahmana. He himself was repenting before he came to know that of that curse, right? That he said like so and so that like take away everything from me, and that's what he did. Like as soon as he got the news that he got cursed, so he left everything and then sat on the bank of Ganges, right, and accepted the vow of a sage. Right? So basically, he renounced everything. Let's read the purport. The water of the Ganges sanctifies all three worlds, including the gods and the demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of personality of Godhead Vishnu. Lord Krishna is fountainhead of the principle of Vishnu Tattva, and therefore shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by the king onto a Brahmana. Right? If somebody takes dip in Ganges water, right, he is also freed from the sins, including an offense committed by a king onto Brahmana. Does Parikshit Maharaj know about it? He knows about it, right? But still he said like he sat on the bank of Ganges, likes to listen more about Krishna, right, or the pastime of Krishna, right? Maharaj Parikshit therefore decided to meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, who is Mukunda, or the giver of liberation of all deception. The bank of Ganges or the Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Like I said, like they are used interchangeably. Right? Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all sort of material association and meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material associations means to cease completely from committing any further sins. Right? Any example you can recollect, like from Bhagavatam, right? Like a person who has left everything and then went to the forest,
into the forest. Oh.
like to attain the liberation.
Well, there's what was Jadabharata?
Bharat Maharaj.
But yeah, Bharat Maharaj. Yeah.
Yeah, he attempted that.
Trouble, but he still.
Yeah, he attempted, like he did that. Basically, like not attempted, he did that, and just for our lesson, then not to be attached. Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Dhritarashtra, all the crew, right?
Yeah, Dhritarashtra again with the association of Vidura, like he was inspired within, but again Vidura pushed him. Not pushed him, basically Vidura enlightened him, and then yes, like he affected himself by going to the forest, and then yes, though he did so many atrocities, right? Like he was aggressor, right? In Bhagavad Gita, it comes right in first chapter, 6 kind of aggressor, right? Kaurava did that, and Dhritarashtra also have an equal share because we could have stopped it, but he didn't, and he had the power also to stop it, but because of his so much attachment to his son, he was not able to do that, right? But with the pure association of Vidura, right? Vidura is one of the Mahajan, right? He also get to go to forest at the end of his life and then perfected his, atoned for his sin and then perfected his life, right? Uh, so Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all sort of material association and meditate onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and that is a way of liberation, right? To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sin, right? So till the time we are in association of this material world or the material things, right? Uh, Means to cease completely from the committing any further sins. Basically, knowingly and unknowingly, so many sins are committed by us, right? So there is one set of people, right? Like they put, uh, Prabhuji might know, like they put a mask on their face, like on their mouth.
The Jains.
Yeah, Jains. So basically, why they do that is so that because there are so many living entities in the air, right? So that they knowingly and unknowingly they should not enter into their mouth, right? While I'm speaking now, also like so many living entities are going, so many aparadhs is committed, right? Like knowingly and unknowingly, like so it is. It's a dangerous place, right? Like when if you are, I was hearing in one lecture. Like if you put on a stage two people, one fool and one very learned, till the time they don't start speaking, you don't know who is fool and who is learned, right? So the idea is uh, like we are committing so many offenses, like till this if we are in the material world, like offenses will happen, like or sins will happen, right? But at the same time, instead of getting more entangled into that, we should try to get out of it, right? And again, how to get out of it is like what we remember at the time of death is like how we see all it is often said that, especially in ISKCON, we are not art of living, we are art of dying. Whatever we are doing every day, we are preparing our consciousness so that whenever we leave the body, right? So whatever we have practiced, right, hard, or whatever attachment we have, that is what we are going to remember at the time of death, right? It is said that it is so much painful when a soul is leaving the body, right? That whatever a soul is more attached to, that is what he's going to remember at that time, right? And that's what Krishna also says, that right at the time of death, I help that if you surrender all to me, I help that person, because we don't know, right? Like maybe we are dealing with so much pain at the time of death, right? I was hearing in one of the class, right? Kandaman Kana Maharaj, right? When he left his body, right? Um, he was disciple of Jay Advait, Jay Advait, Jay Advaita Swami Maharaj, right? Jay Advaita Swami Maharaj. And Jay Advaita Swami Maharaj, like, and Kadam Kana Maharaj was in so much pain at the last moment, right? Like, and then he's like, he denied for taking the painkiller medicine, because the problem with the painkiller medicine, it makes your uh, brain also works little slower, like to relieve the pain, basically. But he denied to take the medicine because he wants to win his full consciousness before leaving the body, right? And Jayadvait Swami Maharaj also told him, you don't have to chant your round today. Uh, like just chant 16 times the mantra. Like we know your situation, but he said no. I want to chant my round, and he left the body. And we know, right? Like there was you can saw on the YouTube videos, right? So much glorious way he was departed, right? Like where devotees are chanting, and then later on, like I think they took his body on a palki also, on a procession, and then so much glory. And if you hear his kirtan, uh, uh, like especially like I remember, like I often used to hear that, and one of the kids in our community, right, Ishu also sing his tune, right? That like Mayapur Kirtan is so famous. Like so many melodious tunes are there, right? Like Kadamgana Maharaj, he takes you into the Kirtan. Like if you listen to his Kirtan, he takes you into the Leela, right, where it is performing, right? So much empowerment, right? And especially uh, in like end of this month, right, in the May, like Sadhu Sangha is coming, right? So like again Sadhu Sangha, why people go there is to take the association of the pure devotees, right? So many pure devotees comes there, right? And kirtaniyas come there, right? And the power of that kirtan is, again, one is kirtaner is singing, but actual what I felt is the main thing is all the devotees who are gathered there. Right, in the hall, you have 3,000 devotees, 3,000 4 devotees, and then so much energy, surcharge energy is there. Maybe you don't want to dance, but you dance because all others are lifting you, uplifting you, as in not physically lifting you, consciousness wise, right? Like there, right? So it is fully, so it's like uh, I would say, again, every devotee has a different kick, right? Like some devotees like kirtan, some devotees like cook for the Lord, some devotees like doing the uh, deity worship, like some devotees like to have the association of the Lord, right? So whatever kicks, whatever helps you to grow in bhakti, right? We should try to do that more, right? Uh, so it is very important, right? Like, because the thing is, like, those are impressions you are creating in your subtle mind, right? Good memories, like often we like people used to call the bad memories, but if we are not creating the good memories, bad memory will not go back, right? So in computer science, it is called uh, first in, last in, first out, right? Like basically queuing, it is keep on pushing in the end, right? Like sorry, it is called first in first out, FIFO, first in first out, right? Like so however you're pushing, right? Like maybe bad memories, how you want to forget is by creating good memories or good impressions, right? Because everybody has their things, right? Like in the like here also it is written, right? To be free from the material association means to cease completely from the committing for any further sins, but sins keeps on happening, right? uh, but the main thing is, instead of contemplating on that sin, we should try to rectify that, and then we should try to uh, proceed, like, or go further in the life, right? To meditate, uh, oh, sorry, the condition of material world are so made that one has to commit sins willingly or unwillingly. And the best example is Maharaj Parikshit himself, who was a recognized sinless, pious king, but he also became a victim of an offense, even though he was ever unwillingly to commit such a mistake. Right? He doesn't want to commit a mistake. He was a sinless king, but still, because of the whole thing, like knowingly unknowingly, sin happened. Right? He was cursed also because he was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverses of life becomes favorable. The principle is that, and how it is favorable, you might be thinking, like, his kingdom is gone, right? Everything. He died in 7 days. How it is favorable? Anybody? How it was favorable to him? Yeah, he went back to Godhead, right? So while leaving his body, he was fully Krishna consciousness, right? Even like we were discussing other day, right? King Katvanga also, right? Like same example, right? Like he fought uh, on the side of the demigods in the Devasur Sangram, right? But then when his service was done, right, and then he was relieved from his duty, right? He asked, uh, "How much time I have, like in this lifetime? How much time I have left in this body?" They said one muhurta, which is around, I think, 24 minutes, right? So he didn't waste any time. He didn't thought about like what will happen to my. I have not signed my will, right? Or I have not transferred my property to somebody else, right? He didn't thought about it, right? What he did was he uh, he surrendered to the Lord, and by and thinking of the Lord, he's left his body, right? So again, in same Krishna consciousness way, right? Uh, so it is very important, right? Like to be like reversals comes in our life, but we should see as an opportunity. What can I learn from it? Right? If it is happening, like other day, Manna Prabhu was also saying, right? If a reversal comes in a devotee's life, he sees it as its own past karma, not blaming from the agent from where it is coming, right? Devotee never finds a fault. All what he says, it is happening to me because of my past karma, right? So, and again, what I can learn from it, right? So that I can improve, right? Or atone for it. He was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reversal of life became favorable for Parikshit Maharaj. Right? The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sins in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord without deviation. So, what is important is to remember the lotus feet of Mukunda or the Lord. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress towards the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if there is an accidental sins committed by a devotee, the Lord saves the surrendered soul from all sins as confirmed in all scripture. Savapada mula bhaja priya triyakana abha prasha vikrama vacha tarsatam taschad dhunito sarvam hrita sunyasha. This is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 11:5-42. Right. So the important thing is like to surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. Right. Uh, right. Like that is our so the lotus feet of the Lord, like we should surrender to the lotus feet of Mukunda, right, or to the Lord, right. That is our only shelter of the devotee, right. Because if you do that, only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress towards the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. So Lord helps. Any example you can remember, like where a devotee surrendered and Lord helped? So many.
Gajendra.
Gajendra, yes. Right, Gajendra, like in his, he fought for 10,000 years, celestial years, right? But at the end, like he surrendered to the Lord, and then all what he did was in his previous life, he was Indradumya, Maharaj Indradumya, and then later on, like he surrendered, but some offense happened, and then he was cursed to become a elephant. But he remembered his previous life, the prayer, right, and then he chanted that prayer, and then you might have seen an famous picture, right, where he plucked a lotus and then he's giving to Lord Vishnu, like when he saw it, and then he surrendered, and then where uh, Krishna or Vishnu protected him. Any other example? Lord protect his devotee.
I was just gonna say when it just flew over my head.
Ajamil?
Pajamila, he surrendered unknowingly.
Unknowingly, yes. Yes.
That's
Any
it.
other example, like where devotees surrender and then he was saved by the Lord? Hmm? Jagai Madai, yes. So let's go the previous birth of Jagai Madai, right? Even uh, Jay and Vijay, right? When they were cursed, right? So because they were surrendered to the Lord Vishnu. Again, it's all pastime of the Lord, right? Why they were cursed and all that, right? So they were surrendered to the Lord. So Lord in each and every birth, Lord came to take them back again, like after the, like how you said Jagai Madai, right? That was a bonus, right? They were cursed for three uh, uh, birth, but that Jagai Madai was bonus. But again, Lord came for their savior, right? Each and every birth, Lord was with them, right? Like to take them back. Basically, they went back, like after the fourth one, right? After Jagai Madai, right? But the main idea is again, they were all like theater actors, right? They perform, right? They were also part of a play, like so to teach us that we should not offend devotees, right? Even you can be even a doorkeeper at Lord Vishnu, doorkeepers also with the forehand, with same Narayan form, right? Same Sarupa. Still, like if you offend devotees, right? So you have to suffer, right? Uh, again it was a misconception, right? Like they thought they are doing the service, right? Actually, you know that, right? Like that whole story was related, right? Like actually, they even stopped Lakshmi once to enter Vaikuntha. So Jaya Vijay stopped Lakshmi also to enter Vaikuntha once. So because of that sin, this whole pastime happened. And again, because they become little proud of their service, right? Uh, uh, again, so the important thing is like if we are surrendered to the Lord, Lord protects in any case, right? Like uh, so So it is very important, right? We should surrender to the Lord, right? Like even all the Vrajvasis, right? They surrender to the Lord, right? Like so, Lord protects them with various demons, right? Uh, like which comes in Vraja, right? Again, it's Lord's pastime only, right? All those things, right? Uh, so there is one more point here. So the main stress, like which Prabhupada is writing in this verse, or which is coming out from this verse, is till that, like to there are two things, right? To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. So we should try to avoid sins, right? Other day, Shamanand Kishan Prabhuji was also saying, right? Like, especially the four regulative principles, right? Uh, at any cost, we should try to avoid them. Avoid them is we should not commit them, like because then we suffer a lot. Like other suffering here and there, uh, like it's you will struggle a little bit in one day in your japa. But if you're breaking the four regulative principles, then it is very difficult to recover from there, right? That no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right? So it is very important, right? Like, and that is the whole reason why, right? When initiation is given, right, a vow is taken that like you are not going to break any four regulative principles, right? Uh, and then one, yeah, Jai Giriraj, Jai. Nitai Navichan, Srila Prabhupada. One time, one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada asked Prabhupada, like, what if a vow, if I break a vow? Then Prabhupada said, gentleman doesn't break his promise. So basically, Prabhupada was saying, like, at any condition, you should not break your vow, right? So and we should take them very seriously also, knowingly and unknowingly, things happen, right? But from our side, we should be sincere and try to sincerely have like follow those vows, like all the four vows, right? Basically the same idea, right? Not to commit the sins, right? Knowingly not to commit the sins. Unknowingly things happen, but knowingly don't commit any sin, right? To have and if you do that, because the goal is to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord, means to become free from effects of all previous sins, right? When that's how we will be able to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the goal, right? Like to surrender, man mana man bhakta, right? That Krishna wants full surrender, right? Full surrender onto him. Uh, so, and that's what we saw, right? Like in this example of Parikshit Maharaj also, right? Parikshit Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord, right? So he was a Raja Rishi, very pious king, right? But he was happy that like the moment comes where he got a chance to fully surrender. So he fully surrendered. So he gave up his kingdom, and then he sat on the bank of Ganges, right? And then we will see in the further chapter, right? Like when Sukdev Goswami comes, and then later on, then he starts asking the questions, like what is the what a person should do if he is able to if he is about to die in 7 days, right? So various questions he asked, right? And then Sukdev Goswami answered those questions very nectarianly, right? And that is the whole reason why we are able to recite Shrimad Bhagavatam, because of that pastime. If that pastime would have not have happened, where he was not cursed, right? Then Shrimad Bhagavatam would not have descended, right? And then it would have not transcribed, and then we would not have talking about it, right? Or discussing about Shrimad Bhagavatam, right? And so it is very uh, like often like it is quoted that like we think, oh, why Indra is doing like this way, why is Indra behaving like this way? He's in pages of Bhagavatam, we are not in the pages of Bhagavatam. Right? Who are we to judge Indra or anybody else, right? Like everybody is every character in Shrimad Bhagavatam is perfect, and they are there to teach us a lesson, like how to act in a particular way, how a devotee should act, and then what can we learn from it, right? So that's why Shrimad Bhagavatam, like it is said, that it has multi layers in it. More and more you read, then more layers you will start unfolding, right, in your mind or in your heart, right? And That's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, right? Like it comes right where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, uh, like when they used to read Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So they used to, so much so they read that in the palm leaf, that whole palm leaf itself, because of their uh, crying while reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, whole palm leaf, the letters in that is wiped out, right? Uh, so so it is very important, like how like we should, like when we are like that's what the prayer we chanted, right? Nityam Bhagavato Sevaya, right? How we do the seva or how we do the service to Bhagavatam is by reading it daily or hearing it daily, right? That's how we worship Srimad Bhagavatam, right? By reciting it or by reading it daily or hearing it daily, right? So just summarizing what we discussed in this verse, right? uh, that Maharaj Parikshit sat on the banks of Ganges and give a and until death, fast until death. Right. Remember, before that he was thirsty because of this whole thing happened. Now he is fasting until death. Right. And give himself onto the lotus feet of the Lord. Right. He decided that he will now meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Uh, Lotus feet of the Lord, who along with able to, because lotus feet of the Lord is the thing which will liberate a person and frees and he free himself from all kind of association and attachment, and he uh, accepted the vow of sage, basically, like he sat. And then what we saw in the purport is Prabhupada writes very nectarianly that uh, till the time we are in this material world, right, like sins will occur, right, but we should try to avoid that, and then we should try to concentrate our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, and then Krishna helps you, right, like to overcome those, right, that only in such a mood with the Lord help the devotee make regular progress towards the path of liberation, right? Any question or comments? 8:31. When anybody wants to add something.
I was just thinking about. It just, it's. Okay. Why does Parikshit Maharaj see it as favorable?
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why we wouldn't see it as favorable is because we have everything backwards.
Mm-hmm.
We think this is the better place.
Mm-hmm.
And we think being in a body is the better situation. But Maharaj Parikshit saw that now I can finally become detached from my kingdom and my riches, my wealth, and just meditate on Krishna. So we're in that kind of that illusion that we think we should stay here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reverse it around, it's not just that the devotees have convinced themselves to see this as better.
Mm-hmm.
They actually see it as better because it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just something you force on yourself that, all right, well, Krishna says we should be happy if we get cursed. But they see it as, okay, now I can get detached from this Mrityu Loka, which is the the place of death. And we were talking before the other day that he sat on in the Sanskrit for the river, it says transcendental river, I think it says, and the word is amartya, which means deathless.
Mm-hmm.
So he's cursed to die. He sat on the bank of the deathless river.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the point being that it's built into the Sanskrit that though it appears he's cursed to die, he's not cursed to die. His body is cursed to die. But as a soul, he's gonna go to amartya, a place of amartya, like no death. So we just really have to, like you said, the more you put Krishna consciousness in, Patanjali says this too in the Yoga Sutras, that there's like a displacement factor. The more you fill your mind with Krishna, it pushes out the other things. So if we just keep doing that, then we actually flip the script. We see that actually this isn't the place for us, and the spiritual world is. And so we don't care about reverses so much, because reverses, the concept of reverse is backwards. It's ironic because we see it as a reverse, but it's actually going in the right direction. It's heading us towards getting out of this prison. So anyways, those are just some thoughts.
So it is very important, like the number of said, right? One thing I recall. Let's say if we go for yatra, right, or we go for some place like for vacation, let's say for 2 days, right? We don't take our whole house with us, right? So we take what is bare needed, and we know, right? Like after 2 days or 3 days, we have to go back, right? Similarly, like this whole material world is not our permanent home. This is a temporary situation we are in. Like if we realize that, and it is very difficult, right? Like uh, uh, that spiritual world is our permanent place. That is our actual position. Like here we are just temporary, just visiting, right? Because of our we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, right? That's what we are sent here. But this is a temporary condition. Like if we think about it, it's such a powerful concept, right? Whatever problem I'm going through in my life is temporary, because this whole thing is temporary. This is not illusion. This is temporary. This is not, but this is not permanent, right? So what our mind used to think is, if I don't do this thing, for eternity I will suffer. Right? That's not how mind present you, right? If you don't uh, save enough, or yeah, if you don't invest in this thing, right, you will suffer, right? But doesn't what mind doesn't tell us is like the truth, right? This is actually temporary. The whole thing is temporary only. Now, the moment you realize that it is temporarily, right, and then let me work towards what is the permanent thing, right, which is going back to Godhead, or how it reflects in this verse is like to meditate on the lotus feet of Mukunda, right? Then we get out from that situation very easily, right? Very easy to set, then practice it, right? Let's say, for example, if finger is cut, whole mind will be there, right, on the finger only. Mind will not be happy that everything else is good, but on that small cut you got on the finger, whole mind will be there, right? Like, so it is all about training, training the mind again, slowly and slowly, right? Like I said, like this is art of dying, not art of living, right? Like how we are preparing ourselves, or preparing our consciousness, right? Any question or comments?
Just really quick, they do make like you go on vacation and you don't bring your whole house with you. So they have this joke when people pack too much, they say you brought everything but the kitchen sink. So even in the material world, people make fun of people for like, we're just going away for a few days. Why do you have to bring so much stuff? So it's the same thing. We're just here in this world for a few days. Like, why are you trying to bring so much stuff with you? Which, of course, you can't bring anything. But it's funny that the concept is even there in the material world, but we don't expand it to, the fact that we're here temporarily.
Yeah. Any other comments or question on Zoom? Not like when here. वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुदेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।